Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play LOTRO with me, Balthelion, where, as you can see, I am looking a bit worse for wear. I am now stuck in my prisoner outfit, where I have been branded with the white hand, and they're not even letting me wear shoes anymore, because they're that mean. But yeah, we're still prisoner of Isengard, and I did actually find the item I was talking about in a previous episode. So if you need, because you are stuck in this kind of instanced prisoner area of Isengard, but if for some reason you need to maybe go back to town, do some repairs, or drop off a load of items at the vault, that kind of stuff, you can still map out to the rest of the world like you would normally. But you've got this reminder of captivity in your bags, which has a 10-minute cooldown, but it will return you back to this instanced prisoner area of Isengard. So as the item says, the sad reality is that despite your wishful dreams, you are still a prisoner of Isengard. Use this reminder to awake from your wanderings and find yourself back beneath Isengard. So you're like basically dreaming that you've gone off to the rest of the world, but in actual fact you're still a prisoner until you complete the whole arc. So yeah, we're still working for Morflag upstairs, doing some of his dirty tasks. So we have to talk to our lackey.
Morflag is good to his friends. Just don't cross him and you'll be fine.
So yes, obey Morflag.
You know when to do as you're told.
You aren't like the others of your kind, are you? You know when to do as you're told. Erdan has built many of the siege engines the old man plans to use for the war.
I'll have a really sore throat by the end of this.
And many are still under construction. Go see if he has any work for you to do.
So we're going to Erdan now. Erdan's on the right hand side of the map, just kind of south of the 3 o'clock on the clock position, if you will. So we're going to head over there, and we're going to have a few more quests to do over there, and then I think we end up going back downstairs next. And that was my Steam, in case you're going paranoid about your Steam flashing around as well. Obviously I forgot to turn off the noises, so hopefully that'll be the one and only one we get. So I've heard, and I believe he's either near a ramp or he's on this structure over here. Or it might be the top of this ramp over there. We'll see. But yeah, the new beta patch notes are out for update 23. I think it is 23, which is going to be the going off to like the Iron Hills and that. So I have to see if I can get on the Bulwer server at some point and see if I can investigate the new region, see what it looks like, because we've already had various comments out of the devs in previous official live streams. Talking about the questing in the region, what the storyline's going to kind of be, and obviously it's going to flesh out one of the starting or the origins of your particular dwarf characters if you were from the Iron Hills, because obviously we've still got Foreign Halls and that, but we don't have the Blue Hills in there. The Iron Hills was another location. Don't know what other dwarf origins there were off the top of my head, but anyway, let's talk to Erdan.
You're one of Morflag's underlings?
You're-
Rather he left me alone.
You're one of Morflag's underlings. I'd rather he left me alone.
I've got work to. I don't know why it's got a bit West Country. I've
got work to do. Real work. And I don't have time for his bluster. Most of these engines are nearly finished off, and I could use another crate of tools if you see something to keep you busy. Follow the ring wall to the north, and you'll find crates near the anvil by the great bellows north of the tower.
So we're heading slightly north, and yeah, there we go, sort of like the 1 o'clock position. If you imagine that as a clock face, we will find some barrels. But our lackey still insists that he's got a quest ring above him, but he doesn't actually. But yeah, most of the guys up here are fairly passive. There might be a couple that we can attack just to get a little speed buff while we're not carrying any items. Or we don't have a speed buff of our own from carrying some sort of item, because the speed buffs will not stack, so there's no point in trying to kill extra stuff. So if we scoot around, let's get on the inside track. Actually, we'll probably cut the corner a bit. It should be somewhere near this building over here, and I think there might actually be a couple of different barrels that we can pick up, but it should be like a barrel of swords we're looking for. Or is it a box? Not one of those boxes. Yes, it is. So we have to take this and carry it all the way back, because these Uruks in Isengard love making us doing running around quests. There we go. So carry the creative tools back to Erdan. Oh, there we go. There's a surly Uruk. So we could have killed him for a speed buff, but we're getting a speed buff from the box anyway. Same as all the other things we've been carrying around Isengard. So once again, you're hauling crates around. You decide to do it as quickly as you can and get it over with. So we have a 10-minute speed buff. So carry this back over to him, and he's going to be over in the background, somewhere behind this building over here. Don't mind me, lads. Don't eat me either, please. It would be rude. So hop up here. That should keep him happy. You've successfully delivered the creative tools to Erdan. So we speak to our lackey.
Erdan gave you such trivial work. Doesn't he know you belong to Morflak now?
I am going to speak to Morflak about this. Erdan should know better than to give you such trivial business. Hauling crates around. Doesn't he know you belong to Morflak now?
Yes, I do. So let's head back to Morflak. Pop a little speed buff, such as it is. It's not as good as the ones we can get from killing things, but it will do. So yeah, so we'll have to see what is going to be in the new region. I don't think any of the instances are in at launch. I don't know that for certain. I'll have to check, but past experience has taught us that generally the instances these days come out afterwards, just so they can focus on the main landscape content. But it does sound like there's going to be quite a few various instances that will be in there at some point anyway. So we'll have to see what they introduce. But it's going to be interesting seeing like another one of the dwarf locations, because dwarves, we haven't really seen much of their stuff. I mean, we had Thorin's Hall, and obviously we went to Moria in the earlier stages of the game, but after that we never really had any kind of dwarf interaction. They had to kind of like shoehorn in little bits of dwarf stuff here, there and everywhere. So it's good to when we got to Erebor, because again we had a major dwarven settlement, one that's not fallen into ruin, and we'll have to see what the Iron Hills look like, and if they'll have any kind of distinguishing features, or whether it be more kind of, dare I say, reuse of existing dwarven architecture just to save a bit of time, or whether they'll do some new architectural differences to distinguish the dwarves of the Iron Hills from the dwarven settlements.
I do not think you need a shadow any longer.
I may have been wrong about you after all. These others complain about the work they do for me, and it's only fear of my retribution that keeps them in line. But you have served me well, and without complaint. I do not think you need a shadow any longer. You will stay in line, or you will answer to Morflak. That will be guard enough.
Tell Fosh he's to keep you busy until I send for you.
So basically, we no longer have a lackey wandering around and watching over us. We've got enhanced prisoner permissions. Basically, we can go around on our own within the walls of Isengard. We're not allowed to escape, but we're kind of a bit more quote unquote trusted as a prisoner. So we've got a bit more towards the epic quest. So chapter 22 now.
Go to the caverns and tell Fash he is to keep you busy until I call for you. If he gives you any trouble, you come and let me know. You get to the depths by way of a door to the north of the tower. Once you're down there, keep taking the sloping path down to the centre of the cavern where Fash is his command. So yeah, so now we get to go freely between upstairs and downstairs. Upstairs being inside the Ring of Isengard, and downstairs being in the pits of Isengard where we were for the first part of our prisoner experience. So the door is literally at the 12 o'clock position on the map. So we just need to sneak around the great Tower of Isengard there, Tower of Orthanc, and yeah, run, slow as we go. Are you still following me, sir? Maybe I have you until the end of this mission, but you shouldn't really be following me anymore. But yeah, so we'll have to see what they do with the dwarves. It'll be interesting enough. But where they go after that could be interesting, because they've kind of been hinting that we're kind of, I don't know to say too much for those of you who haven't got to like the Erebor kind of story in that, but in the storyline of Erebor and the Erin Lascalon, the Northern Mirkwood area, and along with the weekly quests, the Tale of Rust and Rhyme, they've kind of been hinting that Iron Hills would always be the next region even before it was announced. But then beyond that,
I don't know if there's going to be any clues as to where we're going to go next in that region, or whether the Iron Hills is going to kind of end this particular segue off to the north. You know, we could end up going somewhere else, or we could end up back down in Gondor to kind of like wrap up some of the Return of the King storyline. You know, get the epilogue going, start working back towards the scouring of the Shire, that kind of thing. So we'll just murder this Surly Uruk, which will give me a lovely speed buff. Flee the scene! You've got to get out of here. It's not safe to fight the Uruks on their home turf. But we get a 5-minute speed buff for killing them, so that's generally still good enough for getting around here, there and everywhere. Now we want to get down to the bottom as quickly as possible. That might have been too far. No, that's alright. So we're just going to cheese our way down off the cliff. Otherwise, we would come in from this door over here. We could have just run all the way around here to the down here to the 6 o'clock position, and then go north into the forges down the bottom. Or, as we can do, we can just take this express route. This could be a bit too high. Oh, we took a lucky bounce. It's fine. Yeah, we're just going down to Fash, which, if you remember, he was the first guy that we had to work for. Down here. This is the platform where we were carrying those barrels of weapons. So speak to Fash, see what jobs he's going to give us next.
Morflux says you can walk about unguarded.
Morflex says that you can walk about unguarded? Well, it won't be my hide if you cause trouble.
Fash snorts loudly.
Go help Bark in the kitchens. You know where they are, and be quick about it. You might be Morflex's latest pet, but I won't have you getting underfoot and slowing things down.
My guy is still following me. I don't know if he's like meant to have despawned, but he hasn't despawned, because I don't think I've actually got the prisoner shackles to resummon him. So I think he's kind of bugged out. He just likes me so much, he doesn't want to leave me alone. So come on then, we'll keep you. But yeah, we're still got our speed buff. There is a Surly Uruk up here near the passageway into the kitchens that we could kill if we needed him. To refresh our buff. We've still got 3 minutes on this, and I think we end up with a carry quest anyway, so we shouldn't need to worry too much about speeding ourselves up. We've got any crap in our bags? Not much. So down into the kitchens, and there's never anything particularly interesting down on the southern bit, so we're going to go westwards down this corridor, which will take us back to the guy, and I believe he's going to send us back down to the dungeons to feed the other prisoners with some nasty slop. But he might make us pick some up first.
Back for more? I'm surprised you're still alive.
Back for more? I'm surprised you're still alive.
Bark sneers at you, his fangs spared, and hands you a dirty rag.
Clean the slop off of the floor. You know how it's done.
So yeah, he's going to make us do it again. You know, we're a VIP prisoner now, but we're still having to literally do the dirty work. So once again, we need 6 of these. We are familiar with this routine now. This is literally the 3rd time we've done this for a quest. They are nothing if not predictable, these Uruks. That's 5. One more, that'll be 6. Then we know what we have to do. We have to slop it in a bucket. Oh no, hello. Forgot about this. Yeah. So another one of the prisoners here has caught my eye.
Hey, you there? No, don't look at me.
Hey, you there?
No, don't look at me. I don't want to attract attention. Dunland keeps wiping down the table and talks to you out of the sides of his mouth. I've gotten my hands on a pinch of poison, just a thimbleful. If I give it to you, can you add it to one of the meals for the Uruk-hai? Don't let anyone see you. Dunland silently hands you a small half shell containing a few drops of clear liquid. So we can casually poison someone's meal. Why not make it this meal? Because that could be Bark's meal. There we go. Secretly add the poison to the Uruk-hai meal and return to your task, where once again we are picking up 6 more slot. So that'll be 2, that'll be 3. But yeah, I don't know where that guy's come from. But the problem is that all these guys are so badly treated that they all look the same. Basically, you know, their hair has fallen out or been pulled out or God knows what. Why? Can you guys see this? There's like shadows on the floor. That is really weird. I mean, it's not even like the shadows of these Uruks. There's just like mysterious like chalk outlines of dead people on the floor. I mean, my shadow is already pretty weird. I can just kind of see a bow and no actual person. So maybe I've died and gone to heaven. Who knows? So scrape that in the slot bucket. Return the dirty rag.
You do everything slowly and poorly.
You do everything slowly and poorly. Is every elf as useless as you? Go fill up a pan from the slot bucket and carry it to the bucket in the dungeons. It's time for the prisoners to be fed again. So once again, pick up a bucket. The bucket should give us a speed boost. There we go. So I think it's the same speed boost as before. Yep, inspired odiousness. This slop smells awful. You're inspired to get where you're going and be rid of it as soon as you can. So I've gone the wrong way there. So once again, we're going to the dungeons. So this is in the northwestern part. We're pretty much just heading straight north, apart from this little bend there, where we ended up speaking to someone before. I can't remember who it was we spoke to last time. Well, I don't want to say any spoilers. But yeah, we're going to go up, put that slop in there, and have another brief chat with one of the prisoners down there, given that we've got no one overlooking us now. Has my lackey finally disappeared? I think he's finally gone now. So, yeah, we're not going to have him looking over our shoulders. We have a sneaky chat with the prisoners. Yeah, I think he's probably despawned, because if he was just lagging behind, he'd still be visible. He wouldn't be that far behind. Stop for the prisoners, just that way. So up and over here. There we go. This is the dungeons. Well, they've got obviously all these torture racks as well. So you can only imagine what they're going to do there. But you kind of see them do it to like Gollum in the movies, without putting him on like the stretching rack. Shire Baggins. That whole thing. More slop. We feed these prisoners too often. Follow the right side passage.
So down we go down to here. Slot bucket. Chuck it in his face. So this is the guy we spoke to last time, Bordgar.
You've managed to slip away from your guard. That is good.
So yeah, he's a man of Rohan.
You have managed to slip away from your guard? That is good. That is very good indeed.
Bordgar peers from side to side, making sure the guards are out of earshot.
I am working on a plan to escape Pendulous, but I could use your help.
Akka was once the steward of this place, but now he is a prisoner like the rest of us.
One of the other prisoners was once the steward of this place. His name is Akka, and he ran the day-to-day affairs of Saruman's household, while the wizard concentrated on other matters. But Akka fell out of favour with Saruman, and is now a prisoner like the rest of us. There is little to do in these dungeons but talk, and Akka boasted that he knows secrets about Isengard that none save Saruman possess. Talk to Akka about these secrets. He may reveal something we can use to escape.
So our friend Akka over here, the former steward of Isengard, is this chap in the bars behind here, where he's got no hair on his head, but he's got a rather impressive Santa beard. But I think we'll probably stop this episode here then, and then next episode we will see what Akka has to say for himself. So until then, see you guys next time.